Huge congratulations for this win, guys. Our chances of victory were virtually nil. This is an outstanding performance. You beat all the favorites. We take the yellow jersey. It's a perfect day.
Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 Pro Team career with the TIJ Racing Team. And today it is time for stage number 4 of the Open Tour, the penultimate stage of this tour. Remember to subscribe for regular Tour de France content. That will be coming out on a Tuesday, Thursday, which is today, and on a Saturday, all at 6 PM on the channel. And remember to leave a like and comment down below. Leave your comments after the video to tell me what your thoughts of the upcoming stage. What a fantastic stage it was last time out. We won our first mountain stage with Dea Quintana. We blitzed it in the end. Quite unbelievable, really. There was a battle between the top 9, as you can see. Maybe the top 10, a few of them might have blown up before the end. But even so, we weren't expecting anything. Just to be in that battle is the most important thing, and kind of be in touch with the top guys. But there are some big names there that we managed to beat, and that was mighty impressive with Quintana. So in terms of the climbing classification, we were 6th in that race. In the points classification, though, we took top spot with Quintana. I'll show you what this means in terms of the general classification. Quintana has climbed 71 places to take that yellow jersey for now, and there's a gap of 14 seconds back to Niev. And quite crucially, after the Spaniard, there's a gap of 36 seconds to Masnada. In the polka dot jersey classification, Quintana is in 6th place, much like the standings showed earlier in the stage. There were no climbs, of course, or I think maybe one in that first stage. Points classification, though, we've also got 2 guys that are up there. We've got Ben Swift in 2nd, who's gained 3 places, and also Dea Quintana, who has gained 20 places in that classification. So a big one there for Dea Quintana. Young rider classification, I think we're out of that really now, unless Gegenhardt and Sivakov really start to struggle. I think Ineos are going to win that one. And they're going to win the team classification as well, I'd say. But, you know, being the 2nd British outfit and being in 4th in that classification is really, really positive. So because we won the stage, as you can see, Dea Quintana has gained a few places. He's gone all the way from about 73rd all the way up to 57th. And for us as well, we gained the most points of any team in that last stage, and that will help us out in the team's classification. But it is time for the 4th stage today, another mountain stage. You'll see it's not as tricky as the last stage. A big plus, though, is that we've seemed to recover quite well from that. I thought that Quintana took an absolute battering, but no, he's okay. And as you can see, well, as you will see indeed in a second, and with the sports director's advice, you'll hear in a minute, it is another tricky stage, and I think the agenda really is to protect Quintana's lead, and also to push with Ben Swift for the green jersey.
It'll be a very demanding day for everyone. Several mountain passes and a summit finish await you. This is a key stage for the general classification. We lead the general classification, but I don't see how we can hang on to top spot. The stage seems too difficult. If we want to exist today, it's best to go for a long-distance breakaway. We can't compete with the big boys in the mountains. Good luck, guys!
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. All the ingredients have been brought together to produce a stage ridden under an attacking banner. It's a short stage where the 4 passes to be crossed are gathered inside less than 100 kilometers. Attacks can come at any time, uphill and downhill.
Aww, look at us in our yellow jersey. Lovely. Welcome to stage number 4 of the Open Tour. 125 kilometres, quite a short stage. And those climbs really come in quick succession. Didn't realise just how steep that second climb was after the feed. I thought it was okay. That second climb after the feed, the second of the first class climbs, isn't too bad. But just bear in mind, we're going to have to do 3 separate climbs with only 1 feed. That is going to be pretty tough. So a few expectations today. The first one to retain the lead of the general classification with Quintana, which our sports director thinks is pretty unlikely, but we'll certainly go and give it our best shot. And also to score 10 points in the climber classification with Michael Bierge. Now, that just seems a little bit silly to me. I can't see it. I think there are, is it 5 points available for a second class climb? I just can't see how Bierge is going to be able to get 10 points. I really can't. But we've got the first sprint coming up not too distantly. But unless there's any breakaway, which there is, so Bierge is going to follow that. But I don't think there's any point getting any of our other guys in that breakaway. Absolutely no point, because ultimately, I think that it's going to come to the big boys at the end anyway. The guys that stay in the peloton, it's going to come to them, because ultimately everyone's going to get knackered in that breakaway. And equally, I think there's, well, it already looks like there's going to be too many of them in the breakaway. There's already 10. As you can see, there's a few more going, including our teammate Michael Bierge. So I just don't think it's going to work. There's far too many in the breakaway, and it's just not going to work. And as you can see, really, the peloton is setting a good pace. It's not like the guys in front have got a huge lead. So we'll have to see how it goes, and I'll see you guys at the first sprint. Now, of course, the man that will be focusing on at that first sprint is the one that we're trying to get to the green jersey with, and that is Ben Swift. Well, I have to say I was wrong. I thought the breakaway wouldn't last at all, but they're going to last to the first sprint. So anybody in that classification, not really, so that's good to see from Ben Swift's point of view. And we're going to stay on board with him. Yes, Bierge could get 20 points, and we'll tell him to attack, but 5 points here could be a lot more important than you might think. So we're just going to bear that in mind with Ben. Try and attack with the rest of our guys as well. I understand there's only 5 points on offer, but even so, it's going to be important. So we'll tell Michael Bierge to attack. Try and take as many points as he can up there. Tell everyone here to put some good pace in. Try and get as many points as we can. Obviously, 5 guys in the top 5 would be ideal. I very much doubt it, but I guess you never know. But let's see how Bierge gets on. We know he's going to get at least 6 points, so that's good to see. A few guys starting to struggle there, or maybe just not bothering to put the attacking nature in with that sprint. But telling all of our guys to put an attack in. We're also going to go with Ben Swift. Got a good amount of energy here. Let's bolt. Let's go for it. Been caught napping a little bit, I think, there. Bierge managed to get 4th, which is brilliant. Don't think it's quite going to be enough unless we can do it. Get here, can we? Anywhere? Was it 15th in the end? Was it 15th? We certainly came up nice and quick, but unfortunately, we couldn't do it. That's a shame. Ah, well. Well, we'll tell everyone to follow and not overtire at this point, because to be fair, we did absolutely go for it there. Bierge doing pretty decently. Getting, I think it was 4th. So I can't complain at that at all. Just a shame we couldn't get any points with Ben Swift ultimately. But a very short stage, you can see. 94 kilometres to go. We've got 1 climb before we then get a reprieve. We get our feed, and then 3 straight first-class climbs. It's going to be very, very tricky. So here we are then, on the first climb of the day. Bierge and co are obviously the only guys in contention for any points here. The peloton's not going to be able to do anything, really, for points. So Bierge's the man we're going to focus on. Obviously, we can take all of our feed here, because we get a reprieve after this. Dibben's starting to lose touch, is he? Take that with a pinch of salt. I think it's just because the peloton's quite wide. Again, I can't see why he'd be losing time. Again, I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt for a second. Keep a close eye on it. But I just think it's because they're coming up the mountain. I can't see he's being distanced. I'll just take a quick look back at Quintana. I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, there's the peloton just ahead. That's absolutely fine. No worries. Absolutely fine. So, any considerable punches up here? Terra May, I know, got some points last time out in the last tour, I think. But nobody really of real significance. I'm sure the sports director will let us know if there is. We can obviously consume all of our feed up here, and we'll do that with about 2Ks to go. But just 4 of us in the battle here. Seems that the other 4 have given up. So points available for everyone. It just depends how many each rider will get. Exposed to wind a little bit. We'd like to be a little bit close to the guys ahead, but we can't up our tempo anymore without attacking, so no point really going for that too much. So we'll just consume our feed now. Tell everyone behind too as well. Oh dear, Williams is struggling. Dibben shocking up the mountains, really. It was him the other day, wasn't it, who started to struggle. Oh, we've told him to consume his blue gel. Oh well, it won't hurt. But it was Dibben up the first mountain pass in the last stage that was absolutely shocking. So it makes you think. 4th place has also dropped off, so it now becomes a 4-horse race for this first climb. Maybe could have consumed our red gel first. Possibly. Those size guys setting a good pace. Just depends how much they've got in the locker ultimately. Are all of our guys ready for the next feed? Yes, I think they are. Quintana, blue. Swift, red. Williams, blue. Dibbons used all of his, so unfortunately he can't do anything. Can we get anything substantial out of this climb? We'll start to put a bit more pace in. We're a little bit too far behind for my liking personally, which is the problem. Especially if these guys start attacking now. I'm going to have to put a bit more juice into it. Let's go. Again, I just think they're a little bit too far ahead for us to catch here. Yeah, as you can see, we can get to them, but the red gel's going to run out. So, we'll take third here. We'll take third quite happily. We've got a bit of a reprieve now, so we can gain our energy back. Should be fine with everybody else as well. So, just a bit of a little panic, that was clearly, about Quintana. But Dibbon has fallen behind massively. I don't get what's going on with him at all. Gegenhardt being distant. I wonder where he is. Must be in one of those groups. But the fourth place man still gets a point inside the peloton. So perhaps maybe should have gone for that a little bit. But it's a point. Is it really worth losing all our energy for? I don't really think so. I mean, a very short stage today. Considering there's still 3 climbs to go, to have, what, probably maybe 50 kilometres to go, is going to be very weird. And not a lot of time to recover. So we'll have to see how we get on. So here we are for the second climb of the day. Apparently this is one of the classics of the Tour de France. And I do recognise it subtly. Obviously 3 climbs here, only 1 feed. So we can't exert ourselves too much. This is really, not necessarily this first climb, but the run of climbs is really going to sort the men from the boys, isn't it? I think that perhaps before the top, the peloton might well catch the guys at the head of the pack. I do wonder whether that will happen or not, but we'll have to see. We'll just go with our main guy with Quintana, just making sure we're okay. Du Bois seems to have blown up. But everyone's setting a good pace, so it seems like the top guys are trying to get some of the less equipped guys to go off a little bit. Du Bois definitely one of those. In interest to see the field being spread out. I mean, with 3 climbs to go, to have a peloton of only 58 and one that's only going to get smaller, much like the last stage, this is going to rock the general standings completely. It's going to melt away any gaps that some guys might have. It's going to be very interesting. It looks like we're gaining speed on the 3 guys at the front at quite a canter. So we'll have to see how we go, and I'll probably see you guys a little bit closer to the top. But the yellow jersey man, obviously us, only 40 seconds away from the top 3. Mikel Bier's really starting to struggle now. To be honest, all of our guys are struggling, apart from our main man Quintana. I mean, even some of the Ineos guys starting to struggle, which makes me think this is a lot harder than perhaps we might be thinking it is. So Mikel Bierge is back in the peloton. Only 2 of our guys in the peloton now. Swift, Williams and Holmes have all dropped off, and obviously Dibbon is a long way off. So I'll just tell Bierge to take it easy. But it might be a one-man band here. Quintana obviously got quite a bit of energy left, really. But the rest of our guys obviously don't have that same energy, and that's a shame. Especially from Simon, I think it's Simon. Especially for Williams. A little bit, well, I can't say I'm surprised at anybody else particularly. But it's a big surprise to see Simon Williams not up for it, really. I'm very surprised at that. I haven't seen Bierge yet, so whether we've gone past him, I'm not sure. Is that him just ahead? I think it is just ahead of Meduas. Yeah, there he is. We're just told him to follow and not overtire. Going to be lots of different pockets of groups, so we've just got to appreciate that. But Quintana's looking okay here. I'm happy with that. But Bierge is dropping back. Not a lot we can do here, to be honest, apart from just survive this climb and then just try and gain some speed, particularly with Quintana on the descent. But to be in that 5th group is absolutely fine. In 16th place, you know, we're quite high up, really. We can see the group, the lead group. Obviously, Costa is the lead group by himself, but the lead group de facto, really, a 52 seconds behind Sivakov. So we're absolutely fine with Quintana at the moment. It's going to have to be a one-man effort. Everybody else is done, really. Bierge's okay, to be fair to him, but he's consumed all of his blue gel. I don't remember ever asking him to do that, but that's a big problem. He's going to have to get up 2 climbs now without any blue gel. That's a bit of a disaster. I hope the other guys haven't. No, they're absolutely fine. Had to consume a little bit of Williams and Holmes because they were really struggling. But it looks like Quintana's doing okay now. How long are we away? We're 4 kilometres away. And I'll let you guys know if anything dramatic happens. But I'm hoping to get to the top of this climb without using any of our feed with Quintana. We might be forced into it. But at the moment it's looking okay. So we're 2Ks for the summit. And we're placed fairly well. We're just following the A for about 1 kilometre there. Get behind Sivakov for now. But we're looking okay, as you can see. We've got plenty of energy left. So a good move not to consume any of our feed on this climb. We've just put a little bit more pace in now. There are 8 points available for us. I mean, Costa's going to get the 10. An outstanding effort, really, to lead on this climb. I think that's very much going to come back to hurt him later on, I would say. Just getting the slipstream of Bilbao a little bit here. Maybe try and get in the slipstream of Harada as well. So 1 kilometre to go. Costa's going to get the points, no doubt. But I think we can put some pace in as well here. We're certainly not going to blow up before the top, I don't think. I know that much. But we'll leave it late to put a shift in. At the end of the day, the points aren't the most important thing here. It's just being there. So the last thing we want to do is blow up. But we're pretty much well placed. I don't think anybody's going to put a massive attack in. Costa gets the 10 points. Absolutely fantastic effort from him. But the top of the climb is just there. It's just there. Can afford to push now. Really can afford to push. And it's a solid effort. And we get up the climb in 2nd place. I really believe that Quintana is one of the best mountain riders on the tour. Ultimately, Kvatkowski was special. The guys behind are going to try and catch up. It's just the nature of having the yellow jersey. Kvatkowski was special. But Quintana's got that same sort of specialness and same sort of ability about him in the mountains as well. So I think we're on to a winner having Quintana in our team. So another climb coming up here. We're just about 30 kilometres away from the finish. To be fair, Bierge is up there. He's certainly in that top 40. He's in that peloton group of 20. And that's only going to help him, really. I think this little breakaway of 15 might actually struggle to sustain this. I mean, Costa's going to be caught. That's just inevitable. A shorter climb this time. Again, we've not had to use any of our feed with Quintana yet. That's very important. We've got a lot of energy left. To be fair, though, it is just the start of this climb, so I'd take that with a pinch of salt at the moment. But we're looking good here, and we're looking good on 2 fronts. Nice that it's just not a one-man race. Mikel Bierge is a potential to do something here, if not at least just protect Quintana. We'll have to see what happens. But I guess it's important for the team classification as well, because no team is going to have all the riders up here. So nice to see that Bierge is still in touch, but the rest of our guys are absolutely way back. Oh, these are the sort of stages I live for. I love these stages. The strategy involved here is unbelievable. The control of your pace, the up and down is massively important. As you can see, the peloton is now a 20-man band. Bierge is starting to struggle, ultimately because he took all of his blue gel earlier. That is never going to help him out in this stage, and that's something we're going to have to live with. But it looks like, again, we're going to get to the top here without Quintana having to take any of his feed, and that's surely something that's going to help him in the final climb. Costa looks like he's going to get another 10 points here. He's definitely going for the mountains classification. I think he'll be absolutely knackered at the end of the stage. And if he completely blows up, I think everybody will understand. Harada trying to put an attack in. So we'll also set some good pace. It might work, and I don't think we should get distracted by it particularly. But my aggressive instinct feels like we should be going for it. We've got the energy. So we're putting in a good turn of pace here. We don't want to be, because all they're just trying to do is trying to influence to blow up. It's not a massive gap. He's not putting any pace in now. So it was just a ploy, I think, to try and burn everybody out. And it nearly happened, but we weren't quite tempted. He's actually reducing his pace quite significantly now. So last half kilometre now. Pretty well. Just depends what the rest of these guys have got left in the locker. Let's reduce the speed a little bit here. There it is, just there. I think we can afford to go for it now. Costa's struggling, but he'll still get the top spot.
The lead rider has 30 seconds on the favourites.
And we get second. Brilliant stuff. So, a decline now, and then the last climb. We have got over it without using any of our feed. Apologies again for only using Quintana today, but ultimately the rest of our guys just haven't got what it takes. This stage has gone really quickly, but I just think it's because of the nature of the climbs that have took place. We come to the 10-kilometre line and just look at the steepness of this. Look at the steepness of this climb. It's the most important thing to remember, that we don't need to win the stage necessarily. We just need to stay in it. And that group of 6 is putting in some mighty pace. But we've got full feed left. Don't want to use it particularly early on. It's just all about managing this. And it's very tough to do that. But equally, everyone else will be feeling it. Maybe they'll have a full feed. I don't know. But 1 kilometre done. Here comes the really tough bit of this climb, though. With a few kilometres to go, it will level off. But this is the tough bit. If we can survive this, we should be okay. So, the guys in this, it's pretty much the main guys. Second place is Niev. He's dropped off. But ourselves, Mesnada, who's 3rd. Benut, who's 4th. Porto, who's 5th. Bilbao, who's 6th, Sivakov, who's 9th, and Martin, who's 7th. They're all in this group. And all well placed in the mountain standings as well. So it's the best of the best. It's the creme de la creme in this group. And we've got to beat them for a second time to really have a chance to keep hold of this yellow jersey. I know I said earlier that maybe we don't have to win the stage, but I feel like it's not going to be one that's a few seconds apart. This will be blown apart here. So if we don't win the stage, I feel like someone will maybe win it by enough time to take the jersey off us. That obviously depends on who it is and how far they are off. For example, if it's Costa, he's not going to finish 9 minutes ahead of us. But we'll have to see. This is the worst part of the climb, as I've just said. But energy-wise, we're doing pretty much okay. I don't know the profile of the next stage, but I feel like it's not going to be as hilly as this. Retain the yellow jersey here, and we've got a very good chance of winning our first tour with the TIJ Racing Team. 7 to go. Obviously keep an eye on our guys behind as well. Vierge's completely lost ground now, purely because of the feed situation. I think if he'd have kept all of his feed before, it'd have been alright, but you know, you can't do too much about that. And the 4 guys behind are complete lost causes, but I think Vierge is very much joining that group now. 10 points in the mountain pass. It was just going to be impossible. He's not that good in the mountains. I know he's won a few, but again, he's just not good enough in the mountains ultimately. I've ran out of all my drink. I feel like Quintana, although admittedly I'm not cycling up a mountain, so I can't exactly gloat and make a grumpy point as well as he can. But 11% doesn't feel like it, I have to say. It doesn't feel like it's got that intensity to it, but maybe that's because everybody else is struggling as well and they're not putting the pace in. Potentially, that's possibly something that might be a thing. But 6Ks to go now. Remember, we've got all of our feed left. I feel like we might soon have to start using some of our feed because that blue energy is dropping a little bit. We'll just use the first of our feed just a little bit. Just to keep us with enough in reserve. There's the 5k line just there. So 5.3 kilometres will be exactly halfway into this climb. Costa has dropped off. So there's now 9 in this group. I feel like that group is going to get smaller the further up here we go. But there is the 5 kilometre line. Who is going to win the stage? Sivakov looks good, so does Benut, maybe Martin. Truth is that the fact of the matter is, it could be absolutely anyone. And who knows, we might be well placed for the points classification if we win this stage as well. 40 points from the last 2 stages, and surely nobody else is going to have that many in the intermediate sprints. So we'll have to see. Sivakov taking a back seat potentially now. This little bit here is the toughest part. And then it will level off. We've got just the, you can see it's really demanding here. We need to stay with it. We need to keep with it. Nobody's going to put an attack in, I wouldn't have thought here. Surely nobody's got the energy to. But just keep in place, just keep close. And I think we've got a decent chance. We're nearly there on the toughest bit of the climb. That blue energy running low, so we'll take a bit more of our feed. Put us out of the danger zone, so to speak. take a bit of our red gel. Personally, I don't think the red gel does too much unless you are running out of that pretty quickly after you've run out the blue gel. So just a few more seconds and the worst of it will be over. Now only seven in this group. Port and Masnada have dropped off. It levels off for a bit. We're going to put a bit of pace in here. Without trying to run anybody over. Put some pace in. We're running out of energy a little bit, but I think that was worth it. Another guy starts to struggle. Take a bit more of our feed. Might have been a little bit too haphazard going for that attack then, possibly. 2Ks to go. Everyone putting some... I think those four are maybe a little bit too quick for us. We might have to concede losing the battle. You know, we can still win the war, but the battle might be over. We'll have to see though. Will those guys blow up before the end? I'm not going to try and catch them because the last thing I want to do is blow up in pursuit of this. Sivakov's starting to struggle. I feel like the other three guys are going to be exactly like that as well. Just keep our blue energy okay.
30 seconds between the breakaway and the yellow jersey.
30 seconds. 1 kilometre to go. Have they got enough in the tank to attack? Let's see.
The breakaway is 1 kilometre from the finishing line.
We're definitely gaining time. And we can put in a final push, most definitely. Come on, Quintana. Feel like those two at the front are going to be just too far ahead. Sod it, let's go. We're going to blow up before the end, but it's okay. So is everybody else, really. Reichenbach wins the stage. Benoot second, but as I've said before, we've lost the battle there, but we are still winning the war. Definitely. We finished third there. A maximum of 10 seconds behind the guy at the top. And that is crucial. The rest of our guys way off. But with Quintana, okay, it's not the beauty of a stage win, but it's still a very good result. We'll have to see now how that leaves the general classification looking. So the winner of the stage, well deserved. You could see how much work we put in. So anyone who wins the stage victory on that stage, it's well deserved. And it's Reichenbach who wins it. Fair play to him. We get a podium. I'll take that. But we still lead the general classification with Quintana going into the final stage. Again, I'm not sure how tricky that last stage is, but I feel like we've definitely done a lot to warrant us being in that yellow jersey and potentially retaining it until the end of the tournament. Points classification. I feel like that's still... I can't remember his name. I feel like it's the same rider. Yeah, Bahani, that's the one. Best climber classification. No, I think it's us. I think it's Quintana. Well, it can't be anybody else. But yeah, it's Daya Quintana. 2 classifications. I'm guessing it's Gegenhardt or Sivakov, maybe, with that young rider classification. Surely, after writing us off beforehand, the sports director's going to be pretty pleased with that.
Great, guys. I wasn't expecting anything from this stage, and you bring home a podium place? Well done to you all. We retain the yellow jersey. It's a perfect day.
I'm glad he's pleased. I don't know where the music is, but oh well, as you can see, Reichenbach and Benoot, the only 2 to beat us. Only 5 in the battle, really, at the end. Bilbao and those below really struggled. But Biersch finished 38th. Not a bad result at all. I mean, to be honest, none of our guys doing terribly. A hell of a lot of guys behind them. So, you know, it's still a good effort from our guys, really. How many are there in this? There's 149. So, you know, still a good effort. All of them, really, in the first half. General classification, obviously, Quintana leads. Best climber for the stage, Quintana got 22 points. In the points classification, Quintana got 15. Biersch in 8th place. Sivakov, I'm guessing, has the lead in the points in the young rider classification. Let's have a look at the general classification going into the final stage. Oh, that's a good lead. That's really a good lead. That's going to help us massively. Quintana leads Benoot by 43 seconds. The stage winner, Reichenbach, is 3 minutes back. But that is a really good stage. Really healthy lead going into the final stage. Just depends how tricky that last stage is and whether we can keep with it after 2 really demanding stages. But remember, it's hurt us, so it will hurt everybody else as well. Quintana also has the best climber classification. That's huge for him. Points classification, he also goes up to 3rd. Imagine if he can do the treble, the hat trick. Sivakov takes over his teammate for Ineos in the white jersey classification. We dropped 2 places in the team classification, not really a surprise there. But individual prize cycling ranking, I don't think we really gain anything there, do we? 11 points, okay, I'll definitely take that. I think that was probably for 3rd in the stage, I would guess. Yes, it is, good stuff. So what is the most important thing here? It's how intensive that last stage is going to be. Good that we've recovered from that quite nicely. How bad's this last stage going to look?
It's the final stage, guys.
Interesting. I know the sports director's talking at them, but only 110 kilometres. Not a mountainous stage. And I think we've got a really good chance of winning this open tour. I really do think so. So if we get the general classification, we'll get 25 points. That's without anything else. 15 points for winning the stage, 10 points for each of the other classifications. Certainly worth going for those classifications with Swift and with Quintana. And also points to get everywhere. So that episode's going to be really exciting, I think. And yeah, I think we've got a real chance for this general classification. It all could blow up in our face, but hopefully it won't. And on Saturday's episode, you'll be able to see the conclusion of the Open Tour. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I've been TIJ Gaming, of course, and until the next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye for now.